Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another stream. It's what's it called? Okay, starting over. I'm completely knackered today. I gotta be honest with you. It's been a long day, but the evening comes around, and I was thinking I should probably get to bed. But then I was thinking a little bit more, like this is like the last time that we're actually gonna have like a lot of rehearsals to actually go through and watch for the first time. So I just felt like I can't just miss up this opportunity. I've done both of the previous days we've watched the rehearsals together, and I figured I just got to do it today as well. So that's the effort that, or that's the ambition that I have for today's streams. I'm pretty tired, but I just want to kind of get into everything that's happened today, and I want to keep myself updated, and I want to do it together with all of you who decide to come out and check the stream with me. And let's hope we can have some discussion about what's been going on within the Eurovision bubble, because we're getting really close. It's Friday today, well, at least where I am, and on Tuesday we have the first semifinal actually taking place. So. I think like what's that, like four days? It's crazy to think like that, but yeah, this is where we are, and it's pretty damn exciting, I'd say. And of course, we've seen all of this first semi, all of those rehearsals. Of course, we've seen the rehearsals from all of the songs, but we haven't seen them with the camera cuts and the editing and everything. And that's what we're gonna see today. Semifinal two, we saw 5 songs yesterday. They looked good, some more than others. And now we got the final. How many other? Like 10 or 11, maybe. I actually prepared everything. We're not gonna be like, what's it called? I'm not gonna be taking all night for doing this because yeah, it's just I'm tired. But I want to check out everything, and I want to talk some about what we're seeing. So maybe an hour. We'll see how long we'll go for. Usually I kind of don't really I'm usually not very good at keeping to the schedule, but or keeping myself brief, but we'll see how it's gonna go today. I prepared the blog post up on the screen. So let's just make sure that I can begin with moving myself up into the corner as per usual. And then we can just share this. We got the blog post right in front of me here. We're not really going to be reading a lot from the blog. I don't think we will check out any pictures or anything like that from the rehearsals, because I just feel like that's yet another kind of time-consuming aspect of everything going on here. So we're just going to check clips today. Um, of course, these are the songs or countries with their performers who have gone on stage today. It's Cyprus, Iceland, Greece, Poland, Slovenia, Georgia, San Marino, Austria, Albania, Lithuania, and Australia. In that order, I would assume. And well, we're not really going to be reading anything about here. We've seen this rehearsal roundup. We saw that yesterday. We've also seen a bunch of what do you call it, advertisements for the Eurovision Song Contest podcast, which I still don't listen to. And then, oh, images. All right, I think we should just. I prepared. Let's just make sure. I prepared the clip here. We're just gonna watch the clip, and I'm gonna pause between all of the songs. I hope that's fine with you. That's the general kind of structure we have going for the concept of this. And we'll see what we got today. There are, of course, only 30-second snippets, but I mean, it's always exciting with snippets, and you can get like a small little peek into whatever it is they're up to, and we can kind of take some. We have to take a bit with like a pinch of salt for a lot of the stuff, because it's still only rehearsals. It is small clips. We don't get the full package. We don't get the finished product, but still, we can make up our minds a little bit about what we think. So yeah, I'm just excited to get right into it, and I think we should just do it right away. I prepared everything so that you should be able to hear whatever's going on as well. So I think we're just gonna check what's happened today, and we'll just start right away.
Hey, it's Clara in the
Oh,
arena in
it's
Liverpool.
really
It is
loud for
day
me. I hope that
three
it's
of
not super
second
loud for you.
rehearsals. Now, our artists are customizing their costumes, they are tweaking their tunes and perfecting their performances. Now, all of our artists have chosen 30 exclusive seconds of their second rehearsal just to share with you. So enjoy.
Cyprus knows what they're doing here. Of course, when we saw the photos from Cyprus, we had like three completely different concepts for the backdrop, which, of course, in this clip we only get one of them. We got a little bit of a hint from the red there and the final part of it. Let's see if we can get that in there as well. Yeah, there, we got the sneaky little shot of the red coming in there. You couldn't even pause it in time because it was so brief. But I really like that concept of actually alternating between different styles for the backdrop. The part that we got here, very reliant on this kind of water theme they got going for it, which really looks quite neat. I think during this wide shot, it kind of looks a little bit empty, but I think it's going to be filled out, when you got the crowd and everything as well. It's going to feel more complete and packed out. But of course, there's not a lot going on stage. It's mostly reliant on the backdrop and kind of lighting and smoke as well, of course. Nice how they incorporate the catwalk here. He sounds really promising. Like his vocals are kind of drowned out a little bit by a lot of backing vocals. But when his voice really like pierces through the soundstage, I don't think there's an issue anywhere near. It sounds like he's pretty much on point throughout there. So I think this is competently put together, and I think I would be very optimistic about Cyprus's chances with this. This looks promising and it sounds convincing. I'd say it really like has the drive as well. And I'm intrigued to see how they're actually going to alter between the different settings on stage throughout this. I want to see more of it, of course. But for the clip that we got here, 30 seconds, everything looks decent. It's not something that I'm floored by, but it's something that I can definitely think that they put up a good job with. So I mean, yeah, I think we just move on from Cyprus. I think it's a good effort so far, and everything looks like they've really planned it out quite competently.
So goodbye, old friend.
It's kind of a shame that the color palette here is pretty much identical to what we just saw from Cyprus. But I mean, it's not an issue, but it's just kind of, I guess, unfortunate that they're right after each other. Sorry for adjusting here. Um, I mean, it basically looks very similar in terms of the color palette, but of course, Cypress is going to change around a little bit throughout, so maybe we won't really think about it too much. But now, when you see it like a clip like this, it kind of becomes quite poignant, I'd say. She lifts this performance absolutely. She doesn't really have much going on behind her. She has to kind of carry this, and she does that. I think the vocals sound very convincing. She has a great tone in it, very confident, and also quite comfortable in the vocal delivery, I'd say. Choreography adds a layer of some kind of intensity to it as well. I like when we saw the images, I really liked this kind of plant-based theme they were going for on the backdrops. From this clip, we didn't really get to see too much of it. It's very drowned out with the dark lighting. We got some of these like more, do you call them, like, are they pink or whatever they are in color? I guess a little bit of pink. That adds some light, but everything is so dark that they kind of become very much towards the back. Camera work in this is not really something that I would really write home about, but it's nice that they actually incorporate a lot of close-ups to make this all about her. But it's not like they're doing something creative with it just yet, which I might have probably wished for. But nice that they focus on close-ups. We'll see how many wide shots they will incorporate in this throughout. I mean, shots like this doesn't really give me a lot when I see it, but it's fine. I think it's a good performance though. She nails it. It's just that everything should kind of become united into one whole package here. I don't think it's particularly maybe gonna challenge for the win in the final on on next Saturday, but I think I'd be pretty optimistic about the chances to qualify here. It looks very professionally put together, I'd say, even though it's rather simple in terms of backdrop. Oh, yeah!
can't stand seeing others in pain. Well, I am both. Now I got so much on my plate, and I save all the others, cause for me it's too late.
Interesting approach to this. I think like during the times when he's not jumping around and such, he has great control of his voice, but overall this feels very unplanned. I'd say there's a lot of movement, and a lot of that also kind of takes away from the focus of what he wants to perform with this and wants to transmit. It feels rather unprepared and unpolished. It's quite unfortunate. I also think there's too much smoke. Like the smoke completely like engulfs him here. You can barely see him. We didn't get to see any of him in the backdrop for this clip, which I think is a good thing because that was not something that I clicked with. Um, but the backdrops here, I mean, they work pretty well. I particularly actually enjoy one thing about this performance quite a lot. Let's see if we can get a shot of it. Let's see. Yeah, like, uh, and I just missed it, of course. When these lights turn on here, like this is a really nice layout with how low the lights are hanging from the roof, and it becomes kind of contained just on him in this central circle in the middle here, completely engulfed by smoke, and then also this really massive lighting just kind of surrounding him as well. It's a nice touch, and I think that's kind of visually appealing. I also like this color grading of the lighting. It's very like golden, orange, yellow, warm tones that really enhance something about it. But the whole structure of the performance is really what's a letdown here because he's jumping around so much, and it just kind of takes away a lot from whatever it is they want to really deliver with it. Um, there's also, of course, a me issue that I can't listen to this instrumental without getting frustrated. So it's quite unfortunate. We'll see how it goes for it, but I don't think anything is particularly well planned here, and that is unfortunate. I usually, if you've been around on my channel for a while, you know that I'm a massive fan of Greece in terms of Eurovision mainly, and it's rather unfortunate when I feel like they're not really putting in the effort that I know they can. Um, it is what it is. We'll move on. I don't have much to say here.
It's too
Okay, there's a lot to take in here. Something that I noticed, just like listen, if you listen to it only, like this massive vocal layering on just these small solo segments when they just say solo, solo, and whatever it is they're saying else, they're so massively loud that it becomes really contrastive, and in a way that becomes really distracting. I'd say, like when you listen to this hook, and the backing vocals really, it's not really like the backing vocals, but there's like layering on it that just makes these small words incredibly loud when everything else is kind of not in a whispery tone, but very subtle in a way. I find that really strange. If we just listen to the hook, okay, that's the whole line. This is rather quiet, and then just the show you is really loud, and that's completely off-putting. I gotta say, it's very distracting to listen to. Um, Other than that, I mean, the performance concept I think is quite decent. Honestly, it's a solid backdrop that fits the tone of the song. They got some effort with choreography. They got nice use of pyro. Whatever happened there later with this whole lava sun theme, whatever it is they're going for. I mean, these effects that just cover the entire screen is very strange, and then she's like there's a lot of glitching and jumping and cutting and hopping around effect wise, which I don't really click with. Not sure why they felt like they needed to do that. You could just have a standard, dance break. You don't need to add so many effects on it. It looks very distracting, I'd say, with all of these different blankets jumping around in synchronization, or kind of in lack of synchronization, in all honesty. Same thing with this part in the opening as well, when the entire screen is just covered by this pink smoke. It's very strange. I mean, we'll remember the performance and we'll remember the song, but it's a very odd approach taken altogether to the visual impression that the performance would actually go through the screen. Concept-wise, I don't have an issue with it, of what they're doing on stage, but I'm not so sure on on the ideas they took in the editing, like post editing. But okay, we'll move on to the next one. You know me, I do. I'm just gonna take these off for a little while. You know me, I do like me some Slovenia in here. I think this is wonderful charisma to the performance. It's gonna get elevated when you have the crowd, of course. It's very it's very strange seeing them being this like engaging with a live crowd when there's nothing there. But it's part of the charm as well, I guess. I'm a bit like unsure about the lighting. It's very red, and then just a lot of darkness. Not really a very much like not really a lot of flavor to the layout of this. I like how everyone's really like everyone is actually placed in the center of the stage. That's a nice touch and makes them all become very united in a sense that they're so close to each other and they can play around with each other a lot on the stage. Also have a nice like what do you call it, like lineup, how they each are glued to kind of their spot, I guess, and then they can move back and forth between each other and work together. Um, I mean, it at the same time, I kind of feel like it doesn't need to have anything flashy going on for the performance because the performance is all about the song. It's just maybe that I get a bit uninterested by the color choice. I think it's a very like flat kind of color composition. It's just red and black on each other, and it's not a very appealing color combination, I'd say. I do like me some red, but this is a lot of red, and then there's nothing in the back. It's just red, 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 and red. I would have probably wished for a little bit more variation and a bit of contrasting tones in terms of color. The standard part is them, of course. There's actually a part here. Wait, let's actually see. There's actually a part with the lighting goes all white in the back. Okay, mm, something happening there on the actual hit, but mm, there's a little bit of variation in color. We'll see how the whole pack, like how the whole performance comes together later. But it's a lot of red right now. It's too much red, in my opinion. I still like it tons, though, of course, and I'm gonna be rooting for them like crazy. So, but yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the colors. Just me. Looks great. I like we've already seen the images, of course, and the layout on stage is perfect. I love how they use these what do you call them? You don't call them pillars because they're completely flat, but like they're not called platforms either. What panels? Let's call them panels. I love how like they're just so massive and really like incorporating the vertical aspect of everything here. She's somewhat elevated as well here. Uh, but it's like such a wonderful image composition with the smoke at the bottom, the light really like just rises upwards and then it fades into black at the top, and these panels have a wonderful like color, um, like a fading color in it as well, like a gradient to it. I think it's a very appealing layout altogether, and color composition and lighting, like all of these warm tones, it works really well. This clip is a bit strange because it's a lot of just long notes, not really too melodic, but the actual chorus comes in here halfway through, and I think it comes in quite nicely. It's also quite effective how they utilize the lights to work with the hits of the instrumental. This is a nice shot as well, like when all of the spots light up for this chorus. It just works really well, and I love these kind of golden tones at the back. Um, and I think her outfit fits this as well really nicely. I think everything's just well planned out, and it really clicks for me. Um, I mean, it looks wonderful, and how chaotic and intense the light show is as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they're gonna open this song, like how the song is really gonna, what's it called? Like grab your attention if there's going to be some kind of effective work with the lighting there as well, because obviously this is an intense part of the song that's really been built up towards. We get the finale here. I want to see them how they gradually move into this kind of performance visually as well. This is like if we just have this shot here, it's not completely in focus, I know, but the lighting behind, like on the backdrop, is really pleasant. I'd say I love this combination of black and the golden yellow kind of tones, and how it fades between. It becomes this kind of dark orange to it, but especially like on these panels, how the colors actually fade upwards and get like more, I guess, brighter, but also like more faded out and toned out. And like there's a lot more white into it up here, and it's darker at the bottom. And also how it utilizes the blue down here, fading into purple, fading into red, and moves into this kind of orange, yellow, white tone. I think it's a very appealing visual shot. I'm very fond of it. How it's also like continuously changing in color as well. We got some lightning strikes down there as well on these, I think. Yeah, there's a bit of a thunderstorm in there. Um, yeah, I wouldn't be worried about Georgia. I think this looks perfect, so we're moving on. Sounds great. Notice that, how the lighting is actually working with the syncopes. That's a nice touch. It's a very nice touch. How they also use this widescreen. Uh, Yeah, that's nice. How the lights actually alternate depending on the hits of it. It's a bit of a strange part of the song to really use. This is a part of this song that I don't click with because it's too much of the same thing. It's just long notes of the same kind of melodic approach as well. But something that I think looks quite neat is how these curves work with the lighting here during this part. It's very effective how they move in this kind of manner that they grow expansive throughout. This is a nice like lighting concept, I'd say. Really creates some like unique shapes that we don't see in the other performances, I'd say, which looks really neat. I don't think the backdrop is adding it too much. It's just a bunch of like color splashing of blue and red and purple, and it's not really too interesting. I don't know if it has a purpose or not. If it's just kind of feels a bit, it feels a bit like a placeholder to me, like they didn't know what to put on the backdrop, so they just add some splashing colors. Um, in terms of the camera work in this, it's quite interesting actually because there's a lot of cuts in this, between a lot of different things going on, and very rapid cuts as well as that at that. And it really like alternates between a lot of close-ups and then we got wide shots out of nowhere. Like this part is very strange how it swaps from this shot to this shot. Like what's the point? I don't know. And then a quick shot of the bass player, uh, who you can't even see the face of in that shot. Then the drummer is sitting. Then he's has his tongue out. It's just a lot of shots all at once. It's very intense, and you don't really know what you should be focusing on. And I get that that kind of works for this part of the song, maybe that it's later on in the song. I hope that it's not going to be like that throughout the entire 3 minutes, because then it will get really kind of tiresome for you to actually keep up with all of this kind of hectic cutting. Uh, but yeah, we should probably like this is a I did well in, in pausing the clip right here, because this is exactly what I'm talking about with the shapes of the lighting. I think this is a very neat look to it, and it's actually something that stands out in terms of like the way they use shapes, because no, from what I can remember and from what I've seen, no other like entry has had actually like shapes being created like this from the spots. So I think that's nice. Um, it sounds pretty decent as well. I think vocally he's quite capable, and yeah, not really too many issues, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to really like push them through. I think, well, in my personal opinion, I think they have one of the weaker songs in the selection, and then it's it's going to be an uphill battle. Um, but they're doing a solid effort at actually making a staging concept that works in favor of them. Unsure about the colors on the backdrop here, but it is what it is. Hmm. Yeah, it's like difficult to know what you kind of expected from Austria. They got the same kind of color concept as Slovenia, but they actually added some contrasting color with the white here, which I'm very grateful for. Um, Fun choreography into this whole thing as well. Like how they use the backdrop to actually like spell out the actual like the numbers of the 0.003. It's creative, and I like this kind of spinning circle of people. Whoever's idea was that was, but it's a cool touch to it. And I think it's very effective as well how the spots continuously just go back and forth. Effective with the lighting, how it switches out throughout as well. And this constant, like, oh, it's not actually constant, it's just flickering. I thought that it was like a constant swiping forwards here, but it's actually just flickering after that. But it's nice. It actually adds like a dynamic in terms of the visual side of things. That there's something constantly going on, as they're still the central focus, because it doesn't take away from them. It's mostly just enhancing them, I think. Um, Also quite well synchronized. You can see like here from the wide shot how everyone has their own. I guess we'll use the word panel again. um, it's very symmetrical in that sense as well. And of course, I told you from the images, I really like the fact that their outfits contrast each other so well. Um, it's effective. I like how they use the catwalk as well here to really emphasize the attitude on this part. Looking forward to seeing it as a whole package. Think it can really like get elevated as well by the crowd being there, because they will get boosted from that, of course, knowing what kind of like this type of pop tune can actually assemble in terms of an audience response. Um, but yeah, a bit on I mean, it's still only rehearsals, but a bit on the vocals. Like it's a bit up and down, because at some parts you feel like, oh, they're not really nailing like the end of the line or something. But there's this one part in the middle which is probably my favorite part of the song. In all honesty, like when this final chorus takes in and the vocal variation comes in, and I think the first time around it sounded perfect. That line really like very convincing sound, and then the second time around it wasn't quite there, because the tone wasn't really like maintained at the correct pitch there. But it's just keep rehearsing and keep practicing, and it's gonna be perfect on Thursday. I'm pretty sure. I'm very optimistic about Austria. They will obviously like it's gonna take a miracle for them not to make it, with considering the song they have, and I think the performance matches the ambition as well that they got going for them. So all good stuff about Austria, I'd say. I think most people were pretty worried, like how are they actually going to manage to stage this into something that's really going to click, and how are they going to sound live and everything. But I think they're proving everyone that they know what they're doing, and I think Austria is in for something positive this year. I'd say they're definitely going to break that non-qualifying streak that they got going at the moment. Let's move on. We only have yeah, 3 songs left. So let's see. Okay, okay. This is honestly so impressive. They sound phenomenal. The way they harmonize with each other is top tier level for sure. And like, there's not a single moment in this entire clip that I think like that I could hear any kind of note being anywhere near not like spot on perfect. It sounds immaculate at this point. I think the layout, like during this part, it's very bright, which I didn't really expect the performance to be this bright. Um, but it also adds a very nice contrast to the part where, well, the girl in the middle, she falls down here, because then the darkness really comes in, and they switch to this darker tone with the pyro starting to kick in. Also have some it had some red in there during that actual hit, so it becomes quite dynamic as well. Um, I think it's I'm not like 100% sold on the visual appeal of it, like the backdrops and everything, but the colors are absolutely there, and especially like during this final part here when the lighting is really like dropped and really reliant on the darker tones. I think that's a nice touch, and I guess that maybe it's enhanced by the fact that it's been so bright before, so it could work hand in hand. But if I'm completely honest, the stage is a bit like flat during these parts. The pyro adds something, which is nice. Um, yeah, it's also nice. They're actually using wide shots during the pyro, and then close-ups when it's like just without the pyro, I guess. But some of these shots, like this shot here, there it looks. Wait, this shot. I mean, they're doing choreography, very simple one, of course, but this looks quite uneventful, I guess. Like not everything, like it doesn't have to happen something all the time in a performance, of course. But but some parts of it, like if there are too many parts like this, you might feel like, oh, there should have been something additional here to really keep the interest going all the way through. But maybe it's just like small sections here and there. I like how they're actually emphasizing the hits in the song, both by camera cuts, choreography, and this part where she's actually kneeling down, really feeling it, I guess. Uh, the massive standout about this one is the vocals, and especially how well they sound together. This is they're so in sync that it's ridiculous. I would be pretty. I'd probably be pretty optimistic about Albania and their chances. I'm not so sure. We'll have to look into all of the songs competing in the semi, but Albania is doing everything they should do, in my opinion. Let's move on. All right. I've told you that I love the color combination they got going for it, like orange and purple. You just know how to get to me. This is a wonderful shot. Um, bit weird, like how it's from a distance, but it just looks magnificent, I think. Um, Altogether, though, I gotta say this looks a pretty empty. It's not really a performance that really clicks with me. Like vocally, it's on point, of course, and I like the incorporation of these shapes in the background and the symbolism and everything. Um, but overall, as a concept, I'm not entirely sold on it. It's a lot of just like a bit of static movement. There's a choreography, but this is not a very engaging performance, I'd say. The hook is definitely the thing you have to rely on here. It This song has a really lovely combination of melodic variation here when she's going for the long notes and the backing vocalists are keeping the hook going. That really works from a song from a songwriting perspective. But altogether, the performance is not too interesting to me, and especially like this, I don't know how audiences within Eurovision will be towards this. I think people won't really mind it, but for someone like me, I've seen this concept of a performance several times now in Melody Festival, and where you have to stand in a circle and you have to move side to side when you sing in unison. It gets tired, like it gets pretty tiresome very very fast. And I don't really need these kind of performances. I think it looks quite stale, in all honesty. I get that it's very easy to work with the camera to just move around them like this. It kind of creates some charm, but it's not something for me. It doesn't click for me, but could click for someone else. Um, I'm still probably pretty optimistic about Lithuania's chances, just because it has that hook and people will remember it for that. Um, I I'm obviously a massive fan of the color what do you call it, like both the color grading and the color concept that this one has going for it. It's a wonderful visual appeal to the backdrops and everything, due to the color and lighting. But whatever is going on stage is not really clicking for me personally. We'll move on to Australia, final one.
Tell me everything's Tell me everything's alright. Promise me it's gonna be alright.
Well, that's it for today.
I gotta say that for this part, I kind of assumed there would be more. I guess I kind of just assumed that there would be some kind of smoke for this performance. I'm not sure. And there's like, was there any pyro here? I'm not sure. Maybe I just forgot about it. But I really expected smoke, and especially like during this headbanging part that goes in half step. It looks a bit empty on stage during this part. It's very bright as well, which I don't think is an issue. It really relies on this kind of grayscale, but it looks quite empty at the bottom surface here, and I didn't expect that. Mm, Still, altogether, like the charisma is there, the performance works, but I probably expected it to look a bit grander. Just my 2 cents, I'd say, but hmm. I think it looks very bright, which is something that I didn't really expect. I thought they would really work with shadows and highlights in a completely different manner. And the light show is, I probably expected it to be a bit more intense, because like during this headbang, like let's actually, you would really assume like the lights to just keep flickering at an intense rate and just really be chaotic, but they're really not. It feels kind of mellow. I don't know, some aggressive camera cuts, but it's not like there's a rapid succession of the camera cuts either. I'm not really sure what to make of it. I expected it to be more intense, I'd say. Um, hmm. I'm not overly sold. Like I do enjoy it, but I really thought that this was going to be like the massive standout in terms of performance. Maybe it will really come together when we have the audience in the arena as well. But I expected more intensity. Still good, but I expected a bit more intensity, I think. They sound good though. They sound great. We'll see.
Well, that's it for today, but do make sure you come back tomorrow because we're going to have rehearsals from the Big Five and reigning champions Ukraine. So do not forget to subscribe to the Eurovision Song Contest on YouTube.
Oh yeah, that's actually right. We still have 6 songs left to see the full rehearsals of, and I guess I didn't really listen very carefully to her, but they come tomorrow, right? So I guess we got to stream tomorrow as well to check those out. But overall, let's actually open the. Oh wait, we don't have the full second semifinal. Okay, let's just go through the songs that we've seen today, and actually just. I'd probably say from these. Wait, how many were there? There are 11 of them. I would say that Georgia is the one that I click with the most from today. There wasn't really like something that clicked with me. Oh wait, maybe no. Georgia clicks. Georgia absolutely clicks. I think it's a wonderful stage layout mainly. Positive surprise would be Albania. I think that looked pretty neat, but absolutely sounded incredible, and that's the main standout. Um, Other than that, I don't think I got really like massively surprised by anything. Cyprus was good. Iceland was good. Um, Slovenia, we'll see. I'm not so sure on Slovenia. Like I obviously love it, and I think it's gonna work wonders when the crowd is there. But the staging concept is not really something that I click with right now. San Marino's pretty decent. Like they're doing well for what they want to do. Austria's good. Austria's really good. Albania sounds great, and also has like some nice core ideas in there. Lithuania sounds good as well. I'm a bit on the fence with the whole concept of the staging, but it's fine. And Australia's good, but I expected massive. I really did. But I might be won over later. I might be overly skeptical today. I don't know. But yeah, those are my thoughts on this. Let's actually see if we can get up the full second semi. Can we see that somehow here? Um, I'm not very familiar with scrolling through this website. Can we see the semifinals? Just that? The shows, maybe? Second semifinal, here we go. Oh, this is a. Oh, this. I do not like this design, and it's not very. I have to zoom out to see everything. No, I don't like this. I don't like this. You know what we're gonna do? I think we're gonna go to Eurovision World. And let's see. Uh, where do you find second semifinal? I don't even know how this website works. Wow, I'm terrible at this. Where do I find the semifinals? Songs and videos? No. Oh yeah, semi two. Okay, here we go. All right. Let's see. The ones that I've enjoyed the most here are Armenia and Georgia. From a visual perspective, just my 2 cents. Those two. Um, if I'd add some other ones that I really enjoyed, would probably be Albania, Austria, Slovenia. I enjoyed the song way too much. Iceland and Cyprus, Estonia. I don't know how many I have, but yeah, Australia too, of course. I would be worried if I was Romania or Greece, I'd say, or Denmark, to be honest. Denmark did not convince me by the way that it looked, but it might be a me issue, but I don't know. But my absolute favorites, performance-wise, I would say Armenia and Georgia, without a doubt. And vocally, I would say Albania and Armenia and Georgia. They sounded really great as well. Iceland sounded good. Cyprus worked because there was a nice combination of backing track and his vocal. There was a good mix in there. Slovenia is wonderful vocally, honestly, really, really wonderful. Um, I'm just reading quickly, like here in the chat. I see you, JH3. Still not sold on Armenia. Yeah. Uh, the more that I think about it, Andy, Denmark will not get 12 points from Korea. You don't have to. It won't. Uh, it simply won't. They're not stupid. Oh, sorry, that was really rude. Sorry, I didn't say anything. JH3, I'm absolutely seeing what you're saying, and I'm a bit skeptical as well because we saw 30 seconds and we've seen some images, and it looks like she's on this kind of platform throughout the entire performance from what we've seen. I really hope that's not the case, but that could get old really fast and like a bit stale. And I hope that's not the case because I really wish the best for them because I enjoy it too much, the concept of everything that's going for it. Um, but I'm a bit skeptical because it could get a bit flat because of the way that it's just reliant on the prop and it's gonna be quite motionless, I guess, with working on it. But we'll see, I guess. We'll see. Um, it's still rehearsal times, and I'm just looking forward to seeing all of the efforts in full. Uh, if I'm not mistaken, we won't get like to see the full performances before Tuesday, right? There's no point where you can get like access to the jury show or any of that. Or is there even a jury show this year since there are no juries voting? I don't know how this works. If someone knows the schedule, you feel free to share with me. Wait, I can actually find it on Eurovision World, can't I? Watch the rehearsal schedule. Let's see. Wait, 6th of May. Oh yeah, it just became 6th of May. Yeah, that's right. Let's see. Second rehearsal for these six are tomorrow, pretty early. So maybe we'll get the roundup pretty early. Let's hope that. And then some interval act rehearsals on. Oh, there's nothing happening on Sunday. Everyone's off on Sunday. Monday. Oh yeah, there's a dress rehearsal. There are two dress rehearsals even, and I guess we don't have any access to that. So yeah, and then Tuesday we have a third dress rehearsal, and then the semifinal at 9 p.m. Is that 9 p.m. my time or is it 9 p.m. UK time? Central European Standard Time or summertime? That's what it's called. Central European Summertime. Okay, so 9 p.m. my time. Okay, good. All right. Well, that's gonna be it for this stream. I don't have anything else to say. Groot, would you stream the turquoise carpet on Sunday as well? I don't think so. Is there anything to talk about during it? There's no music, right? It's just artists arriving at the place. I don't really know what kind of insight I would be able to give during a carpet show. Um, I don't think I will watch it, but I've never watched it before. Does anything interesting happen during the turquoise carpet show? Sh- and give me a reason why I should stream anything about it, because I don't know anything about it. Um, Korea doesn't have 12 points to give. Yeah, okay, fair point. But they're part of the international jury, so they have some input, I guess. If anyone from Korea is watching Eurovision, I don't know. um, Jonathan seems very confident that Romania is getting through on vocals alone. I'm not so sure. Not so sure. But we'll see, maybe. Camera work for all acts will probably be improved all the way up until the show actually starts. A lot of acts look too empty right now. I agree with you. I'm hoping that, but the thing is, like, the camera shots are probably like already pretty much decided in advance so that everything works. But of course, if they see something during the clip that, oh, this doesn't look the way we planned it, they're gonna change it. But I'm not so sure that there's going to be a lot of creative camera work throughout. I think uh, Azerbaijan and Latvia, and there was one more that I really reflected on. Actually, yeah, Armenia. Those three are the ones that have seemed to have very purposeful camera work at the moment. The others haven't really clicked like that for me. I think those three are very creative with their use of camera, especially Armenia, I'd say, and Latvia, to be honest. Um, but yeah, we'll see, we'll see. Um, let's see. Uh, Groot fashion critiques. You can give us your takes on their fashion choices. Oh, I'd be terrible at that. I'm a fashion terrorist. um, Maybe someone will trip on the carpet. Good content. Yeah, well, how long is the carpet? Is it gonna be like when you have the Oscars? It's like for 3 hours. They're just walking on the carpet. I can't sit through that. That sounds really Yeah, J3 says Turkish carpet is boring. I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, I'm not sure if I will watch it. The one interesting thing last year was the Macedonian flag incident. I think I missed something there. Cringy interviews and bad fashions. Well, you piqued my interest right away. They get accosted? What does that mean? I'm sorry, I don't know English. What's accost? They get accosted by YouTube hosts asking silly questions. Yeah, I can imagine. Oh, do we think there will be any questions about smelling someone like an animal? We haven't had enough of those jokes yet. And maybe they will mention something about the amount of, what was it? The amount of number one hits that Marco Mengoni has had. I don't remember what it was, but it was something they thought was very funny about the number 69. So I guess he will get some question about that. Uh, Probably clashes with the GP, so I won't be watching the turquoise thing. Oh yeah, it was on Sunday, wasn't it? But I'm guessing the GP, you mean the Formula One. If not, well, then I'm stupid. But the Formula One should be late at night, right? Because they're driving in Miami this weekend. So, or maybe the turquoise carpet thing is on the night as well. I don't. It's like on the evening. I don't know. I'm just speculating and guessing. I enjoy seeing what outfits they choose for the carpet. Yeah, I mean that could be interesting. I'm just so uninterested in clothing in general, so um, I don't know. The fan channels have got access to the rehearsals starting from Monday. I don't know what the fan channels are, but okay. I'm not one of them, that's for sure. You can count the amount of threads in the carpet. That should take a few hours. Wow, brilliant idea. I should absolutely do that. Oh, ambushed. So accosted means ambushed. Okay, I learned something new today. The Macedonian flag incident is when Andrea lightly threw her flag aside to pose for pictures, and Macedonia's broadcaster got so mad that they threatened to withdraw and made Andrea apologize on national TV. Yeah, Macedonia also had a flag scandal with Vasil. Okay, well, the less I know, the better. I kind of feel feel like in that regard. I think that's gonna be it for today. I thank you all for joining me, and I hope that you enjoyed checking some rehearsals with me. Um, from just a quick glance, when some of you shared your favorites from today, everyone had Georgia as one of their choices. So seems like I'm not the only one on that, which makes me happy. I never clicked with the song from Georgia. Like I think the production on it is not that good, and it's not really that interesting to me. But when you perform it like that, it's just you just gotta put your hands up and say like you did well, you did really really well. Anyway, thank you for coming out tonight, and I hope that I will see you. I guess we're gonna stream tomorrow again when we get the final six rehearsals with camera and full performance and stuff like that. And I'll be hopefully seeing you in that stream as well when it comes around. So thank you all for joining tonight, and I hope you will have a good one. Sleep well until I see you again. Very, very, wait, very, very. I'm just checking some stuff. Very, very soon. Bye bye and good night.